All right, so simplifying complex numbers. This is essentially also dividing complex numbers. So if you end up taking trig, this is something you see a lot. So recall that a complex number is of the form a plus bi. This is the simplified version of a complex number. Numbers like 3 over 2 minus I, or 7 plus 2i over 4 minus 3i, or 3 over 8i are also complex numbers. They're just not simplified. So to simplify, we're going to need to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the complex conjugate of the denominator. And we'll see why that's going to work here in a moment. I'm going to get rid of this part here. So this says divide 2 minus 5i by 1 over 6i. So the way that we go about dividing this is essentially we're trying to simplify it. So like I said earlier, what we want to do is we want to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. And we have to multiply the top and bottom by it. Other way, just so we can keep an equivalent number. It's like those equivalent fractions. So if I do my distribution, the top is just going to be 2 times 2 times 1, then 2 times 6i, then negative 5 times 1, then negative 5 times 6i. The bottom is going to be 1, then plus 6i. Then we go here, negative 6i times 1, negative 6i. Negative 6i times positive 6i is negative 36i squared. So this is going to leave me with on top is 2 plus, let me see, 7i. So we know because we've got that I squared, that's a plus 30. On the bottom, those 6 i's canceled, and I'm left with 1 plus 36 because of that I squared. That's going to be negative 1. This turns into a positive 36. So this is 32 plus 7i over 37. So kind of like with fractions, I can split this up as 32 over 37 plus 7 over 37i. So now I am in simplified form because I've got the form of a plus bi. So just take a moment with these two and simplify these. So like I said, it's essentially dividing the complex numbers, but simplify these so they're of the form a plus bi. Okay, so for the first one, we multiply by the conjugate of the bottom, so that would be 2 plus 5i. We multiply the top and the bottom by it. So the top is 3 times 2 plus 5i, and the bottom is going to be 2 minus 5i times 2 plus 5i. If I distribute here, I'm going to get 6 plus 15i. And on the bottom, I end up with 4 plus 10i minus 10i minus 25i squared. So we got 6 plus 15i on top. And then the bottom is going to turn into 4 plus 25. Add those together, that's a 29. So I break this up, that's just 6 over 29 plus 15 over 29i. So B is just a little silly because the top is the conjugate of the bottom. But remember, we're dividing, not multiplying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the conjugate of the bottom and to the top. If I expand that, it's going to be 16 to 28i. And then this would be a negative 28i again. Multiply these together, it's a positive 49i squared. And then the bottom would be 16 minus 28i, then plus 28i. And then that's going to be minus 49i squared. So there's a slight difference here. When we have this, they're not conjugates. We're going to get a duplicate of that middle term because remember it's a perfect square trinomial. That'll leave me with 16 minus 8, 9, 10, 6, 36. No, sorry, 56. 56i plus, oops, it'll be actually minus 49 now on top because of that 2i. The bottom will just be 16 plus 49. Okay. My brain's just dying here a little bit. So let me get on my calculator. This will be minus 33 minus, I'm sorry, 56i. And then the bottom will be 55. So we'll end up with a negative 33, or sorry, 60, yeah, 33 over 65 minus 56 over 65i. And then for my last one, the conjugate is going to be -1, -4i. So if I multiply this across, I have a negative 3i minus 12i squared. Here we get -1 plus 4i minus 4i, and then we get a minus 16i squared. So negative 3i plus 12 on top. The bottom is -1 plus 16 on bottom. This is going to be 12 plus 3i over 15. So I'm going to add a little spot out here because I'm going to have to do a little extra more room. Okay. Just checking something quick here. So this one's a little different because we can actually simplify our fractions when we get them here. So I need a little extra room. So we're going to have 12 over 15 plus 3 over 15i. So 12 over 15, both of those are divisible by 3. So that'd be 4 over 5. 3 over 15, both of those are divisible by 3. So, sorry, yeah, 3 over 15, both are divisible by 3. So we have 1 over 5i.